All right, welcome back, everybody. We're in the final segment of our Grassroots Citizen Panel. And before the break, we were discussing the fact that American hip-hop artist Akon is planning an anti-ISIS concert to benefit those in the Kurdistan region in fighting ISIS. To me, it's pop culture going around the White House, pop culture going around America's leaders and taking matters in their own hands. I say it's a good thing. Let's go to Gianno Caldwell, political strategist in Washington, D.C. Gianno, what's your take on this story?
I think this is admirable. Akon is a rap artist that's been around for a number of years, born in the inner city of St. Louis, and I think the attention that he's bringing to this very, very important cause is going to bring more celebrities to the table and fold. And as you know, a lot of millennials get their information from social media, their news from not necessarily reading the newspaper every day, but this is going to cause more folks to know more about ISIS, and perhaps it may even cause folks to want to be involved in funding this movement. So I'm very, very happy to hear about this, and I think he's doing a great job, and I hope he succeeds in what he's doing here.
As do I. Jan Ronas, you say you have some strong thoughts on this.
I find it laudatory what he's doing. I think it's great, like a lot of celebrities get involved in these causes. But there seems to be a thought floating around here that the United States hasn't done anything to oppose ISIS. In fact, the United States has been conducting an air campaign on a daily basis, which has now given the Kurds some breathing room to repel these invasions. And in fact, they have a coalition involving other nations, and that Jordanian pilot who was so brutally executed by ISIS last week was part of that coalition and lost his life in that effort organized by the United States.
And you're right, Jan. The U.S. has had an effort. I think the frustration is that President Obama minimizes the threat of ISIS. And we're hearing reports today by Bob Woodward, veteran journalist, that military top brass are frustrated that there's no strategy to defeat ISIS coming out of the White House. And I think, you know, I don't know why Akon, what his motivation was, but I think that's this frustration you might be hearing. Speaking of celebrities, how about Bruce Jenner? First of all, the guy starts a transition to a woman, and now he gets in a car accident over the weekend. You know, Ethan Behrman, what surprises me the most about this photograph of Bruce Jenner is that the former Olympic gold medalist was smoking a cigarette.
Unbelievable. Why would he smoke a cigarette? He was a gold medal winning decathlete.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried a decathlon?
I have not. I'm an ex-track and field guy, but I've not done decathlon.
That is an impressive sport to try and do, and to smoke is unacceptable.
Decathletes are phenomenal athletes. Wendy Patrick, okay, let him go to a woman if that's what he wants to do. But why are you smoking?
You know, I don't know what he was doing, whether he was smoking or texting, but we know what he wasn't doing, and that's watching the road. And that is what's going to really characterize and drive what ends up happening to him.
Was he going fast? You know, was this like, do you have any idea?
We are all going to wait to see what the accident reconstructionists conclude, because how fast he was going and whether he was under the influence, obviously these are all the factors we need to figure out.
Gianno Caldwell, I see you smiling. I'm going to have to ask you to weigh in on this story. Anything you want to say?
Well, considering the family, it's probably likely that he was checking his Instagram account to see how many likes he got on his most recent photo. But in this situation, as you said, and as most of you have said, he should have been watching the road and focusing on what was going on in front of him. We'll see what really happens during this investigation, and it's sad, but we'll see what happens.
Sad is the right word. Jan, anything to weigh in on?
Well, just real quick, it's so complex that the CHP announced today that it may take 6 months to conclude this investigation, so there's a lot of moving parts.
Yes, as a criminal defense attorney, would it take 6 months if it was Joe Blow that got in an accident and killed someone, or is it the fact that there's so much media attention on a celebrity here?
Well, it's a lot of things, and the CHP does an exhaustive investigation of these kinds of cases, especially when there's a death involved, so it's not... It seems to me like a long time. They could probably do it faster, but sometimes it takes us that long to conclude these investigations.
Ethan Behrman, switching gears now. You were in Israel this past summer as you were there at the time of the Gaza war.
Yes.
I assume that Brian Williams was not with you at that time.
I do not recall him standing next to me at any point.
All right, so Brian Williams, this is sad. It is sad, and, you know, it shows the manipulative nature of the mainstream media, which has been a propaganda talking piece for the Obama White House these past 6 years. He was not in that helicopter that we well know now. He did not see a dead body floating by his hotel window during Hurricane Katrina. It's not likely, at least. He did not rush into a burning house to save a puppy, like he told us. Of course, he's taken a leave of absence. You care to respond to any of this?
Well, look, it's very damaging.
Yeah.
We look to news anchors like Brian Williams to tell us truthfully things that have gone on. And when that credibility has been just totally wiped away in this case, it's one thing to misremember one thing, but when you start having a series of events, it shows a pattern now of behavior that has just totally ruined his credibility.
Gianno, I see you shaking your head yes there in Washington. We're down in less than a minute. What does this mean to the future credibility of the media in America, if anything, do you suppose?
Well, I tell you, Brian Williams' career at NBC is dead, but is alive and well if he wants a job at TMZ. As you know, journalists, we've come to rely on their honesty, and to say that you were in a helicopter crash to look heroic, and then to come back to apologize and say, hey, I misplaced my thoughts, and then for that to be a lie tells me that it wasn't just one event. You're lying as a lifestyle. So it's unfortunate. I don't think he comes back from this unless he wants to do entertainment television.
There you go. And Wendy Patrick, we're down in less than 30 seconds. How do you wait?
In a soundbite, words matter. What everybody has learned from the Brian Williams case is we better watch, all of us, no matter who we are, what we do for a living, watch your words, speak carefully, because you can't take it back once it's out there.
I'm gonna go a step further. You were very kind and say, watch your words. How about don't lie?
Don't lie.
Don't lie.
Right? Don't have the only thing that was actually shot down be your story.
Right. All right, listen, we're out of time. I want to thank criminal defense attorney Jan Ronis. I want to thank KSFO radio talk show host Ethan Behrman. You're syndicated with GC, and you're big in Alaska. So all those people who follow you in Alaska, we're big in Alaska too, by the way. I'm gonna give a big shout out to your fans and our fans in Alaska. Legal analyst Wendy Patrick and political strategist Gianno Caldwell. I'm sorry, Gianno Caldwell, not Jan Ronis.
I'd be proud to be his brother.
I want to thank each of you for being part of our grassroots system. There's a lot of words in there, a lot of syllables, and so. All right, I want to thank you, our viewers, for watching. Back at you again tomorrow night.